next point. We should ensure whatever we say is clear.
That means work is being done. We can see that it is in opposite direction.
Hello, my students at home. I'm Abbas Shehu by name, your usual commerce teacher. Today, we are going to continue with our class on the topic trade. We have been talking about this topic for the past weeks, where we talk about the meaning of trade, division of trade, that is talking about home trade and foreign trade. We talk about subdivision of home trade, that is talking about retail trade and wholesale trade. Today we are going to talk about the second division of trade, which is foreign trade, also known as international trade or external trade. Under this topic, we intend to cover these areas. Number one, we will look at the meaning of foreign trade. We'll look at types of foreign trade. 3, division of foreign trade. Number 4, similarities between internal and then foreign trade, or home trade and foreign trade. Then we will also look at differences between home trade and foreign trade. We'll also look at reasons for foreign trade, advantages and disadvantages of foreign trade. Then lastly, we'll look at barriers to foreign trade. Now, the first one, which is meaning of foreign trade. Foreign trade is the exchange of goods and services between 2 or more countries. It is the exchange of goods and services between 2 or more countries. It is the trade that involves national boundaries, the crossing of national boundaries. The principle underlying the buying and selling of goods and services is foreign trade is specialization. The theory of international trade is based on the principle of comparative cost, founded by David Richards. This theory states that a country should specialize in the production of goods and services in which it has advantage over other countries. In essence, what we are saying is foreign trade is the buying and selling of goods and services involving more than one country, involving 2 or more countries. And there's a basic principle that underlines this trade, which is the principle of what is known as comparative cost advantage, founded by David Richards. Now we go to talk about the types of foreign trade. Types of foreign trade, and there are 2 types of foreign trade. In commerce, there are 2 types of foreign trade. We have the first one known as bilateral trade, and the second one known as multilateral trade. The first one, which is bilateral trade, is trade agreement in which 2 countries exchange goods and services. It involves only 2 countries, and that's why it is called bilateral. By B, it means 2. While the other one, which is multilateral, is talking about where a country involves in buying and selling of goods and services with other countries, not just one, different countries. Where we have, for example, Nigeria engaging in buying and selling with Ghana, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, China, so on and so forth. We have what is known as multilateral trade. Now, after talking about types of foreign trade, we now move further to talk about division of foreign trade. Mind you, I told you from the beginning that foreign trade is the same as international trade, the same as external trade. So we're talking about now division of foreign trade, and it's divided into 3. Number 1 is known as import trade. Number 2, export trade. And number 3, intra-import trade. Now we will look at them one by one and see what they mean. The first one, which is import trade, is, or it refers to the buying of goods and services from other countries. The buying of goods and services from other countries, bringing them into our own country. We refer to this type of trade as import trade. And all the goods and services that are brought as a result of buying is known as imports. We refer to them as imports. Now, import trade is equally further divided into two. We have the visible import, the visible import and the invisible import. The visible import refers to goods that are bought, tangible goods that are normally bought from other countries, that are brought into our own country. And the invisible goods refer to services that are bought from other countries into our own countries. And these services include banking, tourism, aviation, so on and so forth. That's talking about import trade. Now we go to the second one, the second division, which is export trade. Export trade, this is the buying and selling of goods and services to other countries. You sell out what you have in excess in terms of goods and services to other countries. Like Nigeria can sell to Cameroon, can sell to Ghana, can sell to Niger, so on and so forth. Goods and services that are in excess. Now, this is also divided into two, just like in case of the import trade. We have the visible export and the invisible export. The visible export are those things that we can see and touch that are normally taken out, that are normally sold to other countries. Whereas the invisible export are those services which we sell to other countries. That include banking, insurance, consultancy, so on and so forth. Now we go to the third division, which is intraport. This is the buying of goods and services from one country and then selling them to another country. We buy, for example, from Niger and sell to Ghana. And this is sometimes done even at the seaport, where the goods are bought and brought. There and then they will be sold to other countries, and the goods will now be taken out to those countries that bought such goods. Let's talking about the division of foreign trade. We now go to look at similarities between home trade and foreign trade. Remember, I told you from the beginning that in our first class, we talk about what is trade. We talk about division of trade, where we have home trade and foreign trade. And we said home trade is the buying and selling of goods and services that is normally taking place within a particular place, within a geographical location, like a country, Nigeria, for example. We want to look at the similarities, where they are similar. Number one, they both make use of what is known as money as a means of exchange. Money is used in terms of making exchange. The goods or service are exchanged for money in both trades, whether be it home trade or foreign trade. Number two, they involve degree of specialization. It is as a result of specialization that we have trades. You specialize in one particular product that you produce. Somebody else do the same. You sell what you do, what you have. He sells to you what he has. Number three, middlemen are both involved in buying and selling of goods and services. There are middlemen. We talk about middlemen, we are talking about retailers, we are talking about wholesalers. They are all involved in terms of both trades. Number four, both involve the buying of goods and services. Whether home trade or foreign trade, they are all dealing with buying and selling of goods and services. Number five, both arises as a result of inequitable distribution of natural endowments and resources. Now we go to differences between the two. We have now seen where they are similar. There are similarities. Having done that, we now move to their differences, where they differ. Number one, foreign trade involves crossing international borders, while internal trade is carried out within a particular country, within one country. 2, in foreign trade, different currencies are used, whereas in home trade, only one currency is used throughout the country. Number 3, trade restrictions such as tariffs, import duties, export duties, embargo, ban, so on and so forth, are placed on foreign trades, are associated with foreign trade. You don't see that in terms of home trades, nothing like tariff, nothing like import or export duties when we're talking about home trades. Number 4, there is also difference in terms of weighing and measuring. Different countries have their different measures, what they use to weigh goods, to measure goods. But in terms of home trade, since it is one country, they normally use the same measurement or weight. Number 5, there is also a difference of transport costs. Foreign trade involves traveling far distance, covering a lot of distance in terms of going to buy or them coming to buy from us. But in terms of home trade, you don't cover such far distance. Number 6, there is also a difference in terms of legal system and culture. Our legal system may not be the same with that of China, with that of USA, Canada. Our culture may not be the same. What our culture is here may not be the same there. But in terms of home trade, you see most of the people that are there in the country share similar or almost the same culture. The last one we have here is there is difference in terms of language. In terms of international trade, we have language difference. For example, we have in Nigeria, our official language is English. When you go to Cameroon, their official language is French. So sometimes there is difference in terms of language. But in home trade, we use the same language, which is the common language, the official language, which is English language. Now we go to reasons why countries engage in international trade. What are the reasons countries engage or involve in international trade? There are several reasons. Number 1 is uneven distribution of natural resources. Different countries are having different natural resources. And because of these differences in terms of their natural resources, they engage in buying and selling. Those that are having, sell to those that are not having. What you sell to what you sell to me, what you have, and I sell to you what I have. Number 2, differences in terms of climatic condition. This results to a lot of differences in terms of what we produce agriculturally. So we sell to you what we produce, our agricultural products, you sell to us too. Number 3, difference in terms of technology. There are countries that are technologically advanced. They produce so many things which we can't produce. So we buy from them. We sell to them too. Number 4, differences in terms of skills. Technical know-how, the skills. It's one thing to have skills. It's one thing to use the skills adequately, efficiently. And by the time you're doing so, you are likely going to produce more in essence in terms of what you want, and thereby selling to those that are in need of what you have. Then we have expansion of market for products, where we have goods that are having markets, that are in need, that are in demand. Of course, countries will sell more and be selling to those countries. And we equally have number 6, differences in terms of efficient use of natural resources. Efficient use of natural resources. You may have the resources. If you are not efficiently using the resources, you may not have what you will sell. But where you use it efficiently, you'll be able to have it in excess and then sell to those that are in need of such resources that they don't have. Taste in terms of differences in taste. Differences in terms of taste. Desire to improve standard of living. That's another point. Desire to improve the standard of living. Then we have, of course, differences in terms of or between patterns of production and consumption. All this result to why countries are engaging in what you call international trade or foreign trade or external trade, as you desire to call it. Now we go to advantages of foreign trade. Advantages of foreign trade. Number one, it serves as a source of revenue. Many countries are generating huge revenue as a result of international trade. This is because we have what is known as export duties being paid to goods and services, the same way we have import duties being paid to goods and services. Number two, it promotes economic activities. International trade promotes economic activities. Many countries are engaged in different agricultural activities, industrial activities, as a result of the hope that by the time they produce what they are producing, they will be able to sell to not only their own countries, but sell to other countries. Number three, it provides employment opportunities. There are a lot of people who are into foreign trade, who are exporters, importers. There are others that are into transportation, that help in carrying these goods from one country to another. And all these are having employment, which they are doing. So international trade provides them with employment. Number four, it leads to international specialization. From the beginning, when we were talking about the meaning of international trade or foreign trade, we talk about the principle underlying this type of trade. And we say the principle underlying this type of trade is what is known as specialization. Countries specialize in the goods or services which they have comparative cost advantage over other countries. And so by so doing, they begin to sell to those countries. By the time we go further, talking about international trade, we will talk about what is known as a principle of comparative cost advantage, and this will be better explained there. Number five, it increases world output, production, the output, the total volume of goods and services produced is increased as a result of international trade. Because once countries know that what they produce in excess can be sold to other countries, they continue to produce and produce, making the goods increasingly, produce. Number six, it brings about availability of goods and services. International trade helps us to have what we don't have, what we don't produce. The same way it helps other countries to have what they don't have, what they don't produce. Number seven, it leads to acquisition of skills and ideas. Number eight, it fosters closer international relationship between countries. Number nine, it increases the standard of living of people by making goods available to them. Number 10, it brings about equitable distribution of natural resources. Where you don't have, if I have, I sell to you. What you have, you sell to me. We now both have what we ordinarily wouldn't have. Then we go to now disadvantages of foreign trade. Number one, it encourages dumping, especially in times of less developed countries or underdeveloped countries. The developed countries turn their countries to become a dumping ground, sending quality and substandard goods to them. Number two, it affects infant industries, baby industries that are just coming up, that are newly established. Sometimes international trade affects them in the sense that they cannot compete with foreign industries that are well established, that are producing goods of high quality. Number three, it leads to the destruction of cultural values of the country. Sometimes foreign values are brought into our countries, thereby destroying our norms and values. Number four, it brings about the importation of harmful and dangerous goods. Harmful and dangerous goods. Sometimes you see drugs being brought as a result of international trade, or harmful goods that are not good for our consumption, for our health. Number 5, it increases balance of payment deficits. This is a very serious problem where we have a country paying more and receiving less. That is what we refer to as balance of payment deficits. Which, in other words, it means a country imports more than what it exports. Number 6, it may lead to unemployment, where infant industries are affected, where they are closed as a result of tough competition from foreign countries. That will lead to unemployment because the workers will be sacked or dismissed. Number 7, it leads to exploitation. Sometimes we are at the mercy of those that are bringing the goods to us. They charge prices that are too high. That sometimes we find it difficult to afford. Number 8, the last one here we have is it makes some countries not to attain self-reliance. When instead of you to work hard towards becoming self-reliant nation, you are relaxed, thinking that whatever you want, you can buy from others that are having it. Let's talking about the disadvantages of foreign trade. Now we go to barriers to international trade. I told you we can call it international trade, foreign trade, external trade. So you better be aware of these 3 different names, so that anytime you see one, you know it means the other. One barrier is distance. Sometimes we have to travel days, especially when you're traveling using ship. Another difference or barrier is differences in terms of currency. Before you go to America, for example, to buy goods there, you have to exchange our currency to that of their own. Difference in language. Sometimes when you go to buy from other countries that don't speak your language, or they come to buy from you that you don't speak their language, it becomes a problem. Of course, there's difference in culture. Then there is also the difference in terms of legal system. What we have as our legal system, as those guiding us, may not be the same. You may go to a country thinking that what you are doing there is lawful, not knowing that it's unlawful, and then lead yourself into trouble. Number 6, difference in terms of weights and measurements. Number 7, political instability. Number 8, imposition of tariffs. Number 9, documentation. International trade has a lot of documents. A lot of documentations are involved. You have to sign this, make this document, so on and so forth. We will come to talk about documents that are used in international trade. You will see what we are talking about when we go there. Then government policy. Right now in Nigeria, we have a policy that there is no importation of foreign rice. And those are, of course, for those that are used to foreign rice, it becomes a problem to them. Number 11, we have transportation and communication. Transportation and communication. These are the barriers to foreign trade. And with this, we have come to the end of our class. But before we call it a day, there is need for us to just recap what we have been saying from the beginning. We have in this class mentioned what we mean by foreign trade, which is our main topic. We have equally talked about types of foreign trade, bilateral and multilateral. We talk about division of foreign trade, import, export, and intra-import. We talk about similarities and differences between home trade and foreign trade. We equally talk about reasons for foreign trade, as well as barriers to foreign trade. We talk about advantages and disadvantages of foreign trade. Now we go to the last segment of our class, which is assignment. We have only 3 questions for you to answer, as usual. Number 1A says, what is international trade? B, state 5 reasons why countries engage in international trade. Number 1A, what is international trade? B, state 5 reasons why countries engage in international trade. 2, question 2, state and explain any 5 barriers to international trade. State and explain any 5 barriers to international trade. Number 3, the last one, mention any 4 advantages and 4 disadvantages of international trade. Mention any 4 advantages and 4 disadvantages of international trade. Now for your submission of your assignment, you can send to us, as usual, Abbas Shehu on 081 00127508. Abbas Shehu 081 00127508. And Yari Zakaria on 080 656-94134. See you in our next class. Continue learning. Have a nice time.